Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new Minecraft video. Today guys, we are going to be covering all of the changes coming to 1.13. This video specifically details the new blocks and items coming to the game. Very exciting stuff. So guys, in the comment section below for question of the day, I want to know what are some of your favorite things for 1.13 coming to the game. Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, if you guys enjoy this and you want to see more of these videos, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the cards. That way you can see all the social media links. And guys, let's get into the video. All right, guys. So to get started with the video, today we are going to be talking about the new blocks and items coming to Minecraft. This is for Minecraft 1.13. So I like to split my videos up just because I feel like if I were to do one long video, that would kind of be throwing too much information at you. So we'll do blocks and items this video, and then there'll maybe be two others, just explaining all of the little details of each one so you can learn at a better rate. Now, to get started, we are going to be going over the wood additions to the game. So trapdoors, pressure plates, and buttons all now have the corresponding 5 different types of wood. So we've got spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, and dark oak. And you have all the different variations. You can actually see all the little different custom textures for it too. That was one of the first things that we actually saw in the game. But let's get to some more of the fun stuff here. So we got a lot to go over. So let's go ahead and talk about coral. Now, what you see in front of you are a few different types of coral. So first off, the blocks in the water down there are just regular coral blocks. They have to be in water, otherwise they will die. So these are tube coral, brain coral, bubble coral, fire coral, and horn coral. These can only be obtained with Silk Touch. You gotta know that, otherwise you will not be able to mine it. Now, and these are mostly just decoration blocks, for example. If you were to look, the decoration building blocks, it's not, not that much. So it's kind of meh, really. I mean, if you want to make like underground ponds and stuff, that's pretty cool. So anywho, when you mine these without Silk Touch, they turn into dead blocks. These are the same corresponding blocks, just with different texture. Now, if you were to take this and place it on the ground outside, after a few seconds, it's going to die because it doesn't have any water. So these are coral blocks. These are corals. So the bigger ones in the back are just regular coral. These can be obtained with Silk Touch as well. Now, the ones in the front are tube coral fans. Now, that's kind of a mouthful, but hey, whatever. Actually, they're not tube coral fans, they're just coral fans. I'm sorry, my bad. So these are coral fans, etc., etc. Same thing, Silk Touch. Even same thing as well. When they're placed outside of the water, they die. So these are the corals that have come to the game. So inside the oceans, as along with the coral, comes kelp. Kelp is a mineable resource that can be mined. I think it's with shears. Actually can be mined with just your hand, actually. That's pretty cool. So these are kelp down here. So when I hit this, since I'm in creative mode, it will not do that, but it'll drop the block, obviously, and they float. But the cool thing about this is that these can be smelted to make dried kelp. Dried kelp can then be crafted into kelp blocks. Now, if you were to look at kelp in the craft, or in this over here, this is just a building block. This is actually a food. Now, these are food that you can eat, but the thing is that they don't really do very much for you, right? But they do eat faster than normal, so you'll be able to eat those really quickly. Over here, we have seagrass. Now, seagrass is a product of bone meal and water. So if we were to remove some of these, there, bone meal, boom. Now, these are collectible with shears. Now, since I'm in creative mode, obviously, that will not work. So pretty simple stuff there. All of these together make a very good fish pond, pretty much. Let's go ahead and talk about Pickles. That's right. There is a sea pickle in the game. Oh god. I was kind of surprised when this one was added, to be honest with you. So sea pickles spawn in colonies inside the oceans. Obviously, they only spawn in warm biomes, and they can only be found on top of coral blocks. Now, there isn't a lot to these. Now, you can bone meal these if you want. And I think because I'm so far out of water, like, let's break this and go underwater a block here, place this down. I thought that it might grow, but you can obtain more than one at a time. Now, it doesn't have a ton of uses to it, but it does produce light. So let's go ahead and do time set night. There we go. So as you can see, there's a bit of light coming off of this. That is light level 3. Not very much, but it can be smelted as well into lime green dye. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Obviously, those are, I think these are, the pickles are kind of more of a decorative block, if you ask me. So let's go ahead and move on to some of the more obscure stuff. This is a turtle egg, and these will hatch into turtles, obviously. A corresponding spawn egg, of course. So if you were to grab the turtle egg, which is right here, and you place it on the ground, there's a turtle egg. Now, turtle eggs can be smashed by zombies and broken, but if you protect them, they will spawn turtles. And you can breed turtles and make all kinds of turtle love and things like that. So let's go ahead and talk about blue ice. So blue ice is a block very, very similar to packed ice, right? We know a lot of cool things about packed ice, and packed ice will allow us to move items faster. It doesn't melt when you put a torch by it. This actually moves items faster than packed ice. This can be obtained by either finding it on glaciers in cold ocean biomes, or it can be crafted in a crafting square, just like so. Very, very cool. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is something that I actually had to do quite a bit of research on to kind of figure out what this thing was, right? So first off, let's talk about the Nautilus Shell. The Nautilus Shell is an item added in the game, and it's a treasure from fishing, and sometimes will be held by the drowned. Other than that, you're kind of screwed, right? So these are just these little guys, like I said, they can't be found. You can only really get them from fishing. Now, the middle thing is a Heart of the Sea, right? Heart of the Sea is obtained from a rare item from a buried treasure. So you see all the shipwrecks and things out there. Buried treasure has a chance to get the Heart of the Sea. Now, this is used in making a very, very rare item called a Conduit. This is the Conduit right here. So I can't place it down, that's why I didn't put it out there. But the Conduit is used in this thing with our squid dying. So this crafting recipe right here gives you the Conduit. So let's go ahead and talk about what we have here in these formations and things like this. Squid, you are killing me right now. Anywho, so that Conduit, when placed inside, let me see if I can actually break the middle. There we go. So placing this down a block up in the middle part, right here, break that. Maybe, oh, no, okay, so it does take a second to show up. There we go. So placing the Conduit in the middle of this structure. So this structure is a 5x5. It needs to be completely surrounded by water, and it has to be built in a very particular pattern. It has to have lanterns in sort of all the middle spots, and then it has a variation of prismarine and dark prismarine all throughout. This gives you an enchantment called Conduit Power. Go game mode. If I could type today, Jesus, man. Survival. This gives us Conduit Power. Conduit Power gives a bunch of different effects, and I'm going to go into more of this when we talk about it in the enchantments and things like that. But just to kind of quickly overview, breathe underwater infinitely, better night vision under the water. You can see that I can see pretty much everything. So used properly, that is a very, very cool thing, but it's going to be very hard to obtain. So moving on, let's go ahead and talk about some of the logs added into the game. So what you see here are stripped logs, and if I grab an axe here and a loggy log, put that there, boom. All you have to do is right click. Boom. That gives you stripped logs. Very cool texture. I love these. And even more what I love is the bark blocks added to the game. So we've seen these everywhere before. These have been in Minecraft for a long time, but they have been custom textures, right? Now you can actually craft them. So these are bark blocks, and they give you 4 for crafting 4 wood. Simple enough. This can be shapeless, obviously. It just needs to be 4 in a square somewhere inside of that, and you can do those for all of the different wood in the game. Okay, moving on. Finally, we have prismarine stairs and slabs of all of the different varieties. Very cool. All of the same crafting that you would expect. Nothing is switched. You still get the same amount as any other stair or slab in the game. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the items that come in the game. So the first item that we're going to be looking at is the Trident. Now, I'm going to cover the Trident a little bit better in the enchantment part of the video, because this thing has a lot to do with enchantments. But for now, you can see that the Trident is a combat weapon. It does 9 attack damage, can be thrown, which is very, very cool. It's probably my favorite thing about that whole thing. I really, really like it. So this thing actually has some enchantments that you can put on it. Some new enchantments, which I'm going to cover, like I said, a little bit more in depth. But Loyalty, Channeling, Riptide, and Impaling are those. And so just a little bit of stats about this guy. Obviously, it does 9 attack damage, has 251 durability, and it will go a range of 8 blocks. So, or I guess more than that, depending on how you throw it. But all right, moving on. This is a shoot. I think I said that right. Anyways, this is obtained from killing turtles. You are not a bad. You're a bad person if you do that. I'm joking. Actually, you know what? I'm wrong about that. That's how it used to be found. I apologize. Shoots are actually when baby turtles grow into adult turtles. I can't believe that they changed that. That's awesome. You don't have to kill turtles anymore. I'm very excited about that. Now, this has one purpose: to make this guy. This is the turtle shell. This is a helmet that has some special effects when you wear it as a helmet. But, oh, really? Really, game? Is that how we're doing this today? There we go. Anyways, when you take this and you put it on, as you can see, it gives you water breathing. Now, I don't think that's infinite water breathing. If I put it back on, will it? I don't know. Let's do the old testaroodies here. So let's go into game mode survival, put this on. So we have 10 seconds of water breathing. As soon as you get into the water breathing stops. And if we take it off and put it back on, it doesn't reset. So it may only work one time, but it's still pretty cool, right? Like that. So that's crafted with a normal helmet crafting recipe. And it's just using those. All right, guys. Sorry about that. My fraps cut out. So the membrane that we have here, this is a phantom membrane. This is used now to repair your elytra. It can also be used as potion brewing. Same with the turtle helmet. So first off, we have the potion of the turtle master. This is used brewing that helmet, but this enchantment is not very good. If you were to look at the potions, slowness, resistance, it's not a very good thing. You can also make the arrows for those, obviously. The next potion is Potion of Slow Falling, which comes from the Phantom Membrane. You can make the arrow for that as well. So, moving on to the last few items, we have the Cartographer Villager, which is in the game. he now sells buried treasure maps, and you can find those. It's kind of rare to get the buried treasure, but you can find buried treasure in the world now. And lastly, which we'll talk about more in the next video, which is new mobs. You can collect the mobs in a bucket now. So anytime you see a mob or a fish in the ground, which is just right here. So it's just a bucket of whatever fish that you're looking for. So that is going to do it for the new blocks and items. Kind of a lot to take in, I know. Upcoming next will probably be covering a bunch of the miscellaneous stuff, like new enchantments, new mobs, and just things like that. Because there really isn't, it's kind of weird, like we have to kind of talk about it in groups, otherwise it's kind of stupid. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at iJevin. Anyways, this is iJevin. Peace out.